Guys, it's Mapler here, bringing you another video about Simplify3D and how to set it up to be used with your Anet A6. I know I made a video a few years ago talking about some details, and as you can see, I've since updated my settings, and I want to bring to you what now works for me. A few years ago, when I brought you a video, I talked about increasing your extrusion multiplier and increasing your extrusion width. At this time, I've realized that my nozzle was actually completely bored out from some gold filament that I was printing with, and now switching to a new nozzle, I have switched back to an extrusion multiplier of 1 and an extrusion width of 4. As you can see, I have a very large traction distance. That is because I run a Bowden extruder. As you can see here on screen, here's a picture of the printer. And running a Bowden extruder, these are the settings that I use. It runs at a 37 millimeters per second retraction speed. I run no vertical lift. I run a little bit of extra restart distance. And again, like I said, I run 11 millimeters of retraction. For most of you guys running a stock Anet A6, I would recommend running 0.9 millimeters, but we will leave that at 11 millimeters for my setup today. Most commonly, I like to print at 0.3 millimeters layer height. I print at 3 solid layers on the top, 3 solid layers on the bottom, and 3 outline perimeters. My Anet A6 likes to print the infill running inside or outside to inside, pardon me. And now moving on to the layer heights. For the first layer height, I like to run at a 90% of what is stated here. So running at 90% of 0.3 would be about 0.27 to 0.28 millimeters. I run a slightly higher first layer width of 110%, and I slow that down to 40%. My infill, I like to run triangular and rectilinear. I have found that Simplify3D running their fast honeycomb or honeycomb infill pattern, it likes to vibrate the living hell out of these printers. So I do recommend running triangular and rectilinear to keep those infill lines straight and along the different axes. Moving on to print temperatures, my print bed is always kept at a nice 60 degrees Celsius. My extruder, I run the first layer at 210 degrees, and I don't change that up until layer 4, so technically the first 3 layers are 210 degrees, and then we switch over to 195 degrees at layer 4. I'm going to jump over to the cooling tab, which, as you can see, I don't turn the fan on until layer 4, again to minimize the amount of shrinkage that will pull the first layers off the print bed and lead to failed prints. Moving over to the scripts tab, as you can see, I run a G28 to home all axes. I run D29 as I have an automatic induction level sensor, which then probes the print bed in 9 different positions and logs how much deviation there is across the print bed and levels that out. I do also prime the nozzle on the front edge of the print bed. Some people like to prime the nozzle away from the print bed. I like to prime the nozzle on the print bed so I can check for layer adhesion. Moving on to the ending script, I will always turn off the extruder. I will always make sure the print bed is turned off, and then I will move the print head away from the print and disable all motors at that time. I run at a 55 millimeters per second print speed and an outline underspeed of 95% and a solid infill underspeed of 95%. I do slow down the prints for anything below 60 seconds. So the first minute of printing, I will slow it down to 30% of the print speed. And that again allows for better build plate adhesion, especially on these printers as they have aged. The print beds are not as reliable in heating up and cooling down, so I allow for compensation in those factors. The Z-axis movement, you don't want to be moving anything faster than 12 millimeters per second. And your XY movement speed, it's basically your travel speed, I limit to 50 millimeters per second. Again, as these printers have aged, my linear bearings are basically shot. They are something that can be easily upgraded, and I just haven't gotten around to doing that. Maybe in the future we will discuss a video or discuss on video upgrading your linear bearings. So for now, we're going to click OK. We're going to click Prepare to Print, and your model is ready to print. I will pan over the top of this, and I wanted to show you something with the infill and keeping your infill along the different axes. As you can see, this infill runs at 60 degrees to each other. So basically 90, 90, and then 90, which then creates a triangle and allows for smoother infill and less vibrations during your print. I hope you enjoyed this video. This was a very quick tutorial on how to use Simplify3D with your Anet A6 and the settings that work best for me. Thank you very much and have a good day. Again, this was Mapler. See you later.